All right, I'd like to welcome you all to the school board meeting on Tuesday, April 7th at 12 o'clock. It's currently 12:06. And this is a first for us to have a virtual meeting. So exciting times. And so I'd like to call this meeting to order and adopt the agenda. Can I get a motion to adopt? Or first of all, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, President Bragg, members of the board, we have two changes. First change is we would like the board to table item 2E, which is actually remove item 2E. It's a field trip, an accidental overnight field trip that was left on.
I thought that was optimistic.
Yeah, we're not going to send Bill Barney. Okay.
Yes, and then also we would like to table item 3A with the board's permission, and that's it.
Okay. All right, and with those changes, I'll take a motion to adopt.
I move that we adopt the agenda as proposed with those changes.
Second.
If someone wants to second it, that'd be great.
Second.
Could you say your name, Samantha?
Samantha, second.
Thank you.
Okay. So I have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so here's what I think we're going to do. So first of all, I should have let everyone know who's on. So Ken Bragg is on, Jen Revolt is on, Courtney Narancic is on, Bill Schultz is on, and Samantha Davis is on, as well as other admin from the district. So when, I guess as a point, Quincy, do you want to take roll for every vote?
Yeah, I think that would be best. I'll just ask their names and then they'll say aye or whatever.
Okay, or nay.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right. So thank you. That's good stuff. So the next thing we have is the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I will lead us in the pledge, and there's plenty to think about for the moment of silence. So I'll just start us off right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. The next is a discussion and possible action to approve the board meeting minutes. Can I get a motion for that?
I move that we approve the board meeting minutes. This is Bill.
Second, Samantha.
I have a first and second.
So can I take a vote? Can I take the roll call for the vote? Ken Bragg?
Aye.
Bill?
Aye.
Jen?
Aye.
Courtney?
Aye.
And Samantha?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. This is fun. Okay, next up is the superintendent's report. Dr. Berry.
Yes, President Bragg, members of the board, I have a series of announcements I'd like to share with everyone. First and foremost, I want to recognize and congratulate Miss Revolt. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Miss Revolt.
Thank you.
As you know, this is the 12th day, approximately the 12th day of school closure. Considering we started the school closure during our spring break, I thought I would give you guys an update on many things that have been accomplished over the past 12 days of closure. I'm going to start with our work schedules. The majority of our staff is working remotely except for a few essential departments and a few essential employees. And with all things considered, we're in good situation and we're being extremely safe with all the interactions, practices, and cleaning when we're using facilities. One of the busiest departments in our district is the curriculum department. And I want to start by just appreciating all of the people in this department, all of the educators, support staff, principals, everyone, counselors, for all of the work that they've been involved with in moving from a brick and mortar school delivery to an online delivery. They've done a great job. Consider the following. Right now, our Queen Creek Virtual Academy, one thing that you might find interesting is we're one of 68 approved virtual academies in Arizona, and we're one of 12, I think, 612 schools, which is a pretty cool feature for our district. This may create some unique opportunities for summer school if this continues to stay closed. This department is continually updating our frequently asked questions document for parents, ongoing development for digital and printable resources. I don't know how many different resources that they've produced, but it's been a lot. They are creating Google Sites and links for families and teachers, and they're constantly adding to that. And probably the biggest thing this past week was the setup and initiation of Edgenuity. And they are working with coaches, et cetera, to set up the modules. And I would like to recognize both high school staffs, both from Eastmark High School and Queen Creek High School, for successfully enrolling about 2,700 plus students. They've done a great job. And I want to thank the principals, the counselors, and the teachers for being flexible and making the best out of this situation. Also want to let you know that a big part of what Erica's department is doing is communicating with the principals and making sure that there's a seamless line of communication to our principals, then to the teachers, and then to the parents. And we know that there's always issues, but they are doing a pretty good job with all things considered. Another thing that's happening recently is the Ferpa Guidelines. And so a reminder was sent out to the staff to protect students' privacy during remote learning. We had 600 plus people participate in various virtual professional development sessions throughout the district, which is pretty neat. Instructional coaches are constantly in virtual meetings with supporting the staff. Counselors are making individual contacts. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from parents about these contacts, and I've asked Court to work with the social workers, and they're going to be outlining some responsibilities that they're going to be involved with, and basically contacting those students that they were already working with before we went into school closure. SPED, Steve Ray, is working on a lot of things. Probably most importantly, he's hosting a lot of IEP meetings. And so with the curriculum department, I would say that the most unique challenge right now is they're trying to produce this online learning opportunity, but they're also trying to prepare for a normal school opening in 2021. They're trying to roll into the remote learning, but they're trying to prepare for the next school year. For example, they have to deal with assessments, the opening of a brand new elementary school, scope and sequence changes, et cetera, and just keeping a good line of communication to the principals has been a challenge, but they're doing a pretty good job all the way around. I'd also like to let the board and the community know about our business and operations. Basically, Dr. Strom and Matt Pace and staff are closing down our facilities, very similar to what we would do if it were summer break. They're setting up maintenance schedules, rotating grounds is still occurring. And I thought I'd share a few things with the board about this department. First and foremost, the capital improvement projects. I included this in my board report last week, and Jim Lamb is being very aggressive on our capital improvement projects and trying to take advantage of the surplus of subcontractors and a long break so that we can get all of these projects finished before the start of the next school year. Here are a few things that will be on today's agenda or upcoming agendas for the board to consider. The Queen Creek Elementary improvements, the G building, LED lighting possibly in front of you in April or May, carpet technology, the expansion and widening of Bulldog Way, hopefully, and then obviously the Eastmark High School projects and expansion that we've already talked with you about, including the bus loop and tennis courts and parking, et cetera. Also in Dr. Strom's department is the IT support. Kevin has done an amazing job of distributing devices to over 700 different students and families. They're not only distributing, but they're managing the tier 1 support for the parents and the sites, which is a huge workload, and they're doing a great job there. In the HR department, Patty's establishing kind of fast track and safe checkout procedures for end of year protocols. In fact, we just had a meeting about that this morning. Cleaning protocols and moving through site and department staffing decisions for next year. And I've also asked HR to develop kind of a temporary modified or revised evaluation system for all of our principals and directors. She put together a draft. We talked about it, and that's already been distributed to the principals, and hopefully that will help everyone. Crystal's working on hiring a new business director, closing out bond sales. Basically paid off Faith Mather Sossaman yesterday, working to ensure proper cash flow, lease payoffs, etc. Dustin, our child nutrition director, is working with Matt and Crystal as well, and they have served, now get this, they've served almost 29,000 meals between the Boys and Girls Club and Eastmark High School. They're serving over 1,000 meals at Eastmark High School every time they open it. That's a huge accomplishment and testament to the severity of this problem that we're all facing. Also want to recognize Dr. Strom. He's very involved in the high-level lobbying efforts at EFRG. Tax credit relief funds, that's a big issue facing districts right now, property tax, cash flow issues, and with this State Board of Education, he's also working in trying to help them define the A to F letter grades, the CCRI uploads. And then last but not least, I wanted to let you know that transportation is also working in some capacity. They're working out this plan where they would have I think they're going to call it the Love Your Bus Day, and they would come in and do basic preventative maintenance and cleaning projects individually so that they keep the social distancing and keeping our staff safe, but also making sure that our buses are maintained. You do not want to let these things sit for long periods of time without proper maintenance. Couple other things I wanted to share with the board. I'm very happy with the work that Quincy and Stephanie I call it our senior project list. They had me write a letter to the senior students this past week, I think it was. I sent that out, and I'll probably have Quincy share that with you if you haven't seen it already. The ASU, you may have heard, ASU canceled their graduation ceremony, but they have not completely canceled other people's graduation. And so those future opportunities at this point in time still remain optional and open. So we're keeping those doors open. Stephanie and the group are really working hard on these senior spotlight stories, and they're getting a lot of good traction on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Yesterday, I just was notified that there's also a news media outlet that's going to cover that and run that story on our what we're calling the senior spotlight stories. You may have seen these. They're individual posts made about every single senior, so it's pretty cool to have that happening. Yesterday, the high school administrative team provided a curbside pickup for all caps and gowns for the seniors. And then Quincy's ordering, as we speak, waiting for sizes, but we're going to order kind of an individual hoodie or sweatshirt for all the students. And then today, we're putting in our order for an individual yard sign for all of the seniors. The last thing I want to share is that Quincy, I think it's on Thursday, it's logging into a webinar that's put on by ASBA that's given us best practices and tips on how to conduct virtual board meetings. So we may be learning some good practices to implement as we move forward. So President Bragg, I'm sorry for the long report, but I just wanted to let you know that's where we're at.
So I'd like to ask a question about, do we have to take board action on graduation? You know, how we move to graduate the approval of a graduating class. Is that upcoming something we're going to do later?
Mr. Schultz, are you asking, does the board have to take a board action vote to conclude the commencement ceremony?
Yeah, I seem to recall there was some stuff that we had to do in the past in regards to graduation and graduating classes.
I think he was referring to the ceremony, that the graduation ceremony where we accept these students to be graduating. Am I right, Bill?
Yeah, there's that, and I'm just curious as to if there's any other steps that we have to take.
We will find out, and I'll make sure that we get that vetted by the legal. I am not sure on the complete answer, but I do know that on a graduation ceremony, a commencement ceremony, the staff certifies that the students, the senior students have successfully completed the prescribed coursework set forth by the state of Arizona and the Queen Creek Unified School District. And so that would be what happens at the commencement, but I'll find out and get back with you on that.
Excellent. Thank you.
I just wanted to say really quickly, I appreciate all of the hard work everybody's doing. And I think as much as we can do for our seniors, we should. And I'm really happy to see all of that happening. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Revolt.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, with that, we can move on to the consent agenda, and I will take that as long as you remove item E.
I move that we take the consent agenda in its entirety minus item E.
Second, Samantha.
I have a first and second, and Quincy will do the roll call.
For the vote, Ken,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Courtney,
Aye.
and Samantha.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, that passes. Next item, action items. We're not going to do A, so B, discussion and possible action to approve JOC contract for widening of Bulldog Way at Queen Creek High School. Dr. Strom.
President Bragg, members of the board, this project is for the widening of a bus lane and fire lane at Queen Creek High School campus. As you're aware, we have some traffic issues off Vacatio. This is primarily due to 2 lanes in or out, depending on the time of day. This project takes us to 3 lanes. So we have 1 constant lane in and 2 constant lanes out, 1 making a left and 1 making a right. The campus was originally designed for 1,200 students. The campus has grown to 2,200 students, yet the bus lane and fire lane have not been widened to accommodate the additional traffic. The widening of Bulldog Way will create for safer ingress and egress for both buses, students, and for all buses, students, and parents included. The work also includes some concrete curbs, some sidewalks, some installation of new curbs, sidewalks, landscaping, and pavement to kind of beautify the area as we go through this project. This will be paid for with adjacent ways. As required by the procurement code of the state of Arizona, the government board must approve the cooperative contract we're going to use to build or widen at Bulldog Way. Well, we recommend approval in the amount of $330,898 for the work to be started immediately and completed by the time we open next school year.
I think this is a great improvement that's been needed for quite a while. And I just wanted to clarify for everybody watching that adjacent ways does not come out of our M&O budget.
Matt,
Awesome.
Matt, do you take a moment real quick to explain how the SFB approves the monies for these projects and the purpose behind them?
Yeah, we've got to also seek adjacent ways approval from the school's facility board. The school's facility board has to approve any project over $50,000. So this is one part of the approval process. I think on this project, I think we actually already have the first part of the approval process for SFB. We have another project going on where it's flip, where we're going to get your approval first, and then we're going to go to SFB and get approval from them. But this one is the second portion. We need approval from both our local school board and the SFB to get adjacent ways projects done. That happened in, I think, the 2016 legislative cycle, where the state started requiring us to go to SFB to spend adjacent ways money. Over $50,000.
All right, any questions? Then I will take a motion to approve item 3B.
I move that this is Bill. I move that we approve item 3B.
Courtney,
Second.
second.
All right, I have a first and a second. Quincy, roll call.
Okay, Ken,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Samantha,
Aye.
and Courtney.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 3C, discussion possible action to approve the JOC contract for bus lane at Eastmark High School. Dr. Strom.
President Bragg, members of the board, as required by the procurement code of the state of Arizona, the governing board has to approve the utilization of this JOC contract and adjacent ways spending. that we're going to do at Eastmark High School. This project is for the paving of the bus lane at Eastmark High School, going from the current bus loop all the way out north to Point 22. There's a picture attached that shows you kind of the paving we're going to do in this bus lane, and bus lanes can be paid for out of Adjacent Ways money. I will tell you, as a parent in this area at Eastmark High School, we currently have our buses making lefts out of Eastmark High onto Ray Road. And the second we can get this paved, we will direct all traffic and transportation to use the Point 22 entrance and exit for the safety of our buses and our students. So this is a student safety project to the core. We are going to be using core construction on this work underneath the Buckeye Elementary School District JOC contract. This is the one where we're going to have to also get SFB approval, because we're doing this with your approval first and then SFB approval second. But we want to start this project right now. And so getting your approval first and then SFB at their next meeting is kind of the way we want to attack this. The total amount for the bus lane project is $246,962. And it was all part of the original master plan for Eastmark High School as we continue to build that school in phases.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, I'll take a motion to approve item 3C.
I move to approve the Eastmark High School bus lane through core construction. Samantha?
This is Bill. I second it.
I have a first and second. Quincy, roll call.
Ken,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Samantha,
Aye.
and Courtney.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, we're steamrolling. Okay, item 3D, discussion possible action to approve JOC contract for athletics improvements at Eastmark High School. Dr. Strong.
As required by the Superior Court of the State of Arizona, the governing board must approve the utilization of cooperative contracts. This is once again a continuation of the phase building at Eastmark High School. In the original design of the campus, there was tennis courts, a northern parking lot, a sidewalk for ingress and egress of students from the LDS church that is located adjacent to our property for the safety of ingress and egress of students that take seminary. And then the big one is restrooms and concession stands for the baseball, softball area and the football field area. There is no concessions nor restrooms in the football and baseball area. Due to budget constraints, these were nicked out of phase one. Now we have recently sold some bonds with our banker Stiefel at the lowest interest rates we've ever sold bonds at, and the cash flow to build these buildings is in place. For equity purposes, I think it's probably poignant to say that in a study session with the governing board in February, we brought both this improvement at Eastmark High and some improvements that we're going to bring in May at Queen Creek High. So we have the Bulldog Way widening happening at Queen Creek High, and we also have some JOC work for technology and some work for carpeting at Queen Creek High that we're going to get done as we continue to approach our improvements of our facilities through the lens of equity. The total amount of this contract to build out concession stands, a full tennis court area with 8 tennis courts, northern parking lot, half of a northern parking lot is $1.845 million. We recommend approval, and I'll take any questions.
Does the tennis courts include, or do the tennis courts include lights?
President Bragg, we do have a quote on the lights. What we're hoping to do is save our contingency funds and our general conditions funds on this contract so that we can put the lights into. If not, we have a contingency plan with other funds from the district that we can get those lights up with. The cost of the lights is $180,000, and the conduit's getting run right now. And we heard from the governing board at the last meeting that we just as well put the lights in, and we are planning on putting the lights in. But this contract is going to need. We're going to need to be very efficient in this build to fit them underneath this contract.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All right, I'll take a motion for item 3D.
I move to approve item 3D. Jennifer?
Second, Samantha.
All right, I have a first and second. Roll call. Quincy.
Ken,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Samantha,
Aye.
and Courtney.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Okay, so information items. We'll now have a presentation of our financial summary. Crystal.
Thank you, President Bray, members of the governing board. The attached financial summary continues our through the end of March, which concludes our third of 4 quarters for the year. If I can present it for you, if I can, I'm happy to.
Does anyone have any questions about it?
Yeah, can you see that?
We can't see the document, Crystal, but
They'll be able to on their computer.
they can see it on their computer.
Okay, all right. So yeah, everything is in line with what we're expecting for the year. I don't have anything to bring other than the board's aware that we're watching fund balances, especially in the cash controlled funds, as we make refunds for the year. But as it stands, we're in a good place. So.
Sweet. All right, well, that's not a voting item. So next is personnel. We're not going into executive. So I'll take however you guys want to do personnel, in its entirety or individually, whatever you guys need to do.
I move that we take personnel in its entirety.
Second, Samantha.
I have a first and second. Quincy?
Ken,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Samantha,
Aye.
and Courtney.
Aye.
Thank you.
President Bragg?
All right. Go ahead.
Yeah, with the unanimous approval of the consent or personnel section, you approved the new Desert Mountain Elementary principal, Aaron Pillsbury. And typically we would have the principal come to the podium and say a few things to the board. But since we're working virtually, she has prepared a written statement, and I'd like to read it for you guys. Just pretend like it's her reading it. It says, to President Bragg, Dr. Berry, and members of the governing board, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for my recommendation. As the new principal at Desert Mountain Elementary, I'm excited and grateful to be part of the Queen Creek administrative team, as well as part of the amazing community at Desert Mountain. I wish I could be there tonight to thank you in person, but unfortunately that will have to happen at a later date. Thank you again for this opportunity. Be safe and be healthy. And then she says, go Coyotes.
Oh! All right. Awesome. So next up is announcements. And as far as the announcements go, Quincy, can you help me out here? My printing didn't list all of them.
Yeah. Well, that's because we didn't list upcoming events because everything is kind of up in the air. We did list our next board meetings, which will be May 12th, and we will have that time as to be determined depending on what's going on. And then June 16th as well.
President,
go ahead.
Just sorry to interrupt on this. Dr. Shum, is there a need to have a meeting before May 12th for time-sensitive procurement for the construction projects you listed earlier, or is the May 12th meeting okay?
There are two projects that are going to be very interesting. We're seeing the ability to get ahead on some projects because of some work drying up in private industry. So our subcontractors are tending to be more available right now. The two projects in particular are the work we're going to do at Queen Creek High. We mentioned earlier, carpeting and technology, and then also the LED retrofits that we've talked to the board about for energy upgrades that are occurring at 5 schools. And so we might be ready for those in late April, and I'd ask for flexibility if the board can get together in late April for a board meeting.
Thank you.
Great. Well, Quincy will let us know, and I'm sure we'll all be available in our little huddles.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Brake.
On that
Sure
note, can
thing.
I just
So
quickly say, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for putting this together virtually. I think it was very forward thinking, and I really appreciate that you guys worked to get this set up so quickly online.
Yeah, I think Dr. Strom and Quincy and Luke's actually on here, and Kevin and his department. Again, we're going to have Quincy sit in on the ASBA webinar this Thursday. Hopefully we'll bring back some best practices and tips, but I think I agree with your sentiment. I appreciate all their work. They're working hard to keep people safe, but also make sure that we have transparent and organized meetings that people can view.
So while we're doing a little bit of praise and celebration, I want to thank Dr. Strom and Crystal for their work on budget and watching and maintaining budget during this crisis, and Dr. Strom on getting those lower interest rates. That's fantastic to make use of some of the opportunities that are going on with interest rates dropping, but then also watching the budget, because I know that this is really tapping us out in the budget and paying everybody out and taking care of everybody. And so just greatly appreciate the work of the entire administrative team and making sure that everybody is in a good place as we ride this thing out.
Thank you, Mr.
all right. And with that, that moves us to adjournment. And so I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
This is Bill. I'll second it.
All right, Quincy?
Okay, Ken,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Samantha,
Aye.
and Courtney.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, it was unanimous. Way to go. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, guys. Thanks for all you're doing, folks.